You are listening to the IndyCar Report with Elijah Poe every Thursday on the Central Indiana Sports Report.
Welcome, IndyCar fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for a special edition of the IndyCar Report with Elijah Poe. Also joined today by Michelle Garmon, the sports editor of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader, Will Retherford, and Heather Abt here to make our season previews for the IndyCar season, which is coming up this weekend. And we'll start with you, Elijah. On a scale of 1 to 10, your anticipation level is?
It's a 10. It's hard to believe this season is here. We're going to see cars on track here on Friday, qualifying on Saturday, and then we're going to go racing on Sunday. Can't believe it's come this fast. I feel like the offseason hasn't lasted too long, but I'm just really glad it's back.
Just go ahead.
I agree with you.
Sorry, go ahead, Michelle. Go.
I agree with you, Elijah. I'm excited too. It seems like it's been a very long time since we saw the last IndyCar race, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'd have to say I'm super excited for the races to start back up. I just renewed our tickets for Nashville Speedway, and then they just released the tickets for Indy 500, so I can't be more excited to see all the drivers and all the new changes that are coming up.
I'm at a 10. It's the first time in 9 months that we don't know who the champion is. And we'll know, obviously, 3 months from now who the champion is. It'll be the same guy it's been the last 6 years. But yeah, it's exciting right now when everybody still has a shot. But that'll quickly fade.
Will and I just did our new podcast, and it's really fun. One of the questions was on our new debate podcast, Palou or the field. And Palou's really been dominant the last couple of years. The racing has still been fantastic, and I'm at least at an 8.5. Can't wait for this season. And that's the first question. We're going to go in the same order, starting with Elijah, who's going to win the championship this year. And I am recording all of this.
It's going to be Alex Palou. He was on the podium 13 out of 17 times last year, won 8 races. I can't imagine him slowing down, even though there is a lot of great drivers that are in this field. Alex Palou is still Alex Palou. Until I see him fall off that championship ladder, he's going to stay on top of it.
Michelle.
I agree that it's going to be, or at least I think it's going to be Alex Palou. I think he has the best race team, overall, and it's showing his crew is outstanding. And until somebody else proves differently or proves that they are just as good or better, I won't go away from Palou.
I also have to take Palou on this one. Every one of his teammates came back, and all of his crew came back. I definitely think based off the first race, we'll definitely know who's going to be in contention for the championship, because I feel like that's how it is every year. Whoever is doing really good the first race usually ends up doing really good by the end of the year as well. So I'm going to have to take Palou.
This is boring, Will.
Yeah, I can't wait to get absolutely bamboozled when Kyle Kirkwood or Pato O'Ward wins the championship, but it's going to be Palou. He's the best driver in the world, and I don't think that I'm not even going to bring up any Formula One names. They're not real race car drivers. It's him. He stands alone. I guess the only person I would put in his field's Kyle Larson, and I don't really think it's even close there.
Here's a guy I put pretty close to his field, and that's Pato O'Ward, and I think McLaren's finally good enough this year. That's going to be my prediction. Give me Pato O'Ward, because that was boring. All right, Elijah. If the choice is Palou or the field, you taking Palou?
I am taking Palou.
Wow.
You have to look at what he's done these past 5 or 6 years in IndyCar. As Michelle said, too, I think it's something that goes kind of under the radar. As good as Palou is, that 10 crew is unbelievable. I can't talk about how many times last season we talked about some of his pit stops and the strategies he pulled off were solely because of the team around him. And he's just such a dominant force. And like I said, until I see him fall off that ladder, he's going to stand firmly atop it.
I would like to say Palou, but I'm going to say the field if I was really betting, and that's his race team is under Chip Ganassi. You are still at the mercy of other drivers, and you can still get in a bad position on the track and get collected in a wreck or something that just you get a DNR. hey, his car was great. The engine, you can get a bad engine from a manufacturer. There are a lot of things that he himself cannot control. If Palou and Ganassi could control everything, I'd say Palou.
I think it's insane he's minus 200 to win the championship. Against the field, I could kind of see it, but I am definitely taking the field. All right, guys, here's the next question. Which drivers will win multiple races this year besides Palou?
I kind of hinted at it with your pick of Pato O'Ward, but I really do think he's going to be a really successful year for him again. We talked about McLaren. They are racy at some tracks. They've yet to really nail down their street package. But regardless, we know how good he is on the ovals. We know how good he is at Indy. We know how good he is on the road course as well. So I can't wait to see the season pan out for him. It really does feel like these next few years are pretty big for Pato because, he's had some wins, but he hasn't been able to kind of break that championship barrier yet.
Pato O'Ward is going to win multiple races. I see him winning at least 2 races, if not more. I believe he won 2 last year and he had some hard luck. I actually think Pato O'Ward could win 3. I think he could be number 2 in races 1 behind Palou. Now, maybe part of that is because I am a little biased I don't like Team Penske so much. So I know if they have a bounce back, Newgarden would probably be that, but I just don't think so. I think I'm going to go with Pato O'Ward.
I'm going to have to go with Dixon on this one because obviously he's just Dixon. How can you not go with him? He's had a win for 22 consecutive years. You just got to go with him and have just another year. All of his crew came back as well, and all of his members of the team came back. So I just think that he gets 2 this year at least.
I'm going to go with Kyle Kirkwood. He won 3 races last year, and I think he ran really well in a lot of other races. I see the Scott Dixon, obviously. I see the Pato, but I Kirkwood is not only my pick to win multiple races, but might be my pick outside of Palou to win the championship.
I like it. All right, guys, next question. Of these drivers, all 10-1 or greater to win the series, which guy finishes highest in the points? Marcus Ericsson, Marcus Armstrong, Santino Ferrucci, Mick Schumacher, Chao Colette, Romain Grosjean, Rinus VeeKay, Kiffin Simpson, Graham Rahal, or Nolan Siegel? Elijah.
I really, 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 really like Marcus Armstrong. He's obviously, we talked about Meyer Shank last year and how they kind of had this resurrection with Felix Rosenqvist. Marcus Armstrong finished 8th last year in the championship. Even though he was young, he had a really, really impressive season. And with his second year with this MSR team, I'm excited to see what he can do because he had some really, really great moments. I think he's going to be in a strong position to be a consistent scorer.
Marcus Ericsson. I do think Andretti Global, they've been down a little bit. There's just something inside me, a little hunch that they're going to be better. I think Will Power makes that team better just because of his experience of racing and that he can bring to that team. And if they do teamwork, which I think that's what makes Chip Ganassi and has made them so good, and with Palou and everything, because if that's the case, I just like Ericsson. And so I think he showed some promise last year. I like him this year.
I was also going to go with Marcus Armstrong as well. I just think that coming in as his second year, he's just going to do really good and just blow the field away with how good and how much he's improved on the off season. I just don't think they're going to be ready for it.
We're either the 3 smartest or the 3 dumbest because Marcus Armstrong was also my pick as the guy. I kind of expect him to finish top 6. I think that this second year, I expect him to just be a consistent placer every single week.
I think the answer is Marcus Ericsson. He had a bad year last year. His team's too good not to finish higher than the rest of that field. Give me Marcus Ericsson.
Good point.
And you know he's going to do well at Indy. Elijah, which driver will win his first race ever this year?
I'm going to go Marcus Armstrong. And we just talked about him. He had a really, really good year last year, was in contention at a couple points, but was never really able to seal the deal. I think this MSR team is too good not to get at least 1 or 2 wins this year. We saw them all year last year really, really be competitive. Both of their drivers finished within the top 8. And so I'd like to see Marcus pick up his first IndyCar win.
I believe it's going to be David Malukas. I thought he was very strong last year, and he just had some bad luck in a couple of races now that he's moved over to Team Penske. And I know Team Penske was not very good last year, but I look for them to bounce back. And I actually look for, surprisingly, for Malukas to actually be the strongest driver on that team.
Whoa, that's a prediction.
I also had David Malukas. I just feel like last year he wasn't like fully healthy, and like just like the being in Penske this year, having all the equipment, having all like the things that he needed to be a good driver and get a win, he'll have them this year. So I definitely think that he'll win it this year.
My pick is Santino Ferrucci. He had 4 top 5 finishes during the year last year. He finished second at Detroit. I like the talent. I like his development through after starting as the 2019 500 Rookie of the Year. I just still believe in him enough to think that he has a shot.
I was really tempted to take Dennis Hauger, but the answer has to be Kiffin Simpson, right? He's with Ganassi. At some point, he has to win a race. If you go your whole career without winning a race at Ganassi, that's pretty bad. The answer is Kiffin Simpson. We might all get points for this one, by the way.
I just feel like in Elijah, Heather, and Michelle can tell me if I'm wrong. I just kind of thought he looked overwhelmed in the car at points last year. And just, I don't, he's obviously so young. And I think you have the hope, but I don't know if it's this year. I still think we might be a year away.
I completely agree with you, Will. The thing is, at some point, he's going to have a dominant car because he's in a Ganassi. And, we saw last year a couple of times he had really good cars, and I think he finished second, third, or second and fourth at some point. He's going to win a race this year.
I wouldn't be surprised. He would have won that Indy GP race if he didn't have a mechanical issue. He qualified up there near the top. It's questionable if he would have beaten Palou, but he definitely had opportunities last year that kind of just got squabbled up. And I agree, Will. It did kind of look like the lights were too bright, and I think maybe that could be the reason why he maybe gets across this year. But there's so many good drivers in IndyCar. It's going to be hard to win.
Ganassi's had some really bad drivers over the years that you're like, what is Ganassi thinking? And he stayed with them too long. But they all got some wins at some point. I just can't imagine going 3 years in a row in a Ganassi and not winning. Ooh. All right, guys, going to be a really good years for rookies. Like I said, I was tempted to take Dennis Hauger in this one. Top rookie, Elijah.
You were tempted to take Dennis Hauger for a winner, and I'm going to take him for my Rookie of the Year. Obviously, seeing him in Indy Next last year, so talented. And Dale Coyne has been really, really good at taking these young drivers and really turning them into some studs that go on to get bigger and better things in IndyCar. And I think he's just next up in line in that series.
Really good rookie field, Michelle.
Yes, it is. Come on, one of those rookies is a Schumacher. And
That's right.
when it comes to racing, Schumacher is well known more in the Formula One circuit, obviously. I think it's a strong rookie class with Schumacher and Dennis Hauger. But you know what? I'm going to maybe take the underdog, and I'm going to take K.O. Collette. AJ Foyt Racing, I thought that their guys ran well last year. They're tied to Team Penske as far as a race team. So I'm taking Collette.
I'm not going to lie, since it's been the off season, I have not kept up with any of the rookies. So I don't even know who the rookies are this year. But I would definitely have to go with anyone that's going to be a top contender and that has won races in the season last year and has moved their way up. I mean, if you keep winning, you're going to keep winning up in the bigger leagues as well.
Yeah, really, it's a 3-person field with Hauger, Collette, and Schumacher, I would think, right, Elijah?
You would think so. Schumacher definitely is the the odd man out there. I'm really interested to see how he does in IndyCar. His Phoenix times didn't look great. He was okay at Sebring, but like we said during those testing sessions, they're testing. You really can't take it for anything other than it is. It's just testing. But nevertheless, we got a race this weekend. We're going to see how he does.
Nice threesome for a rookie class, though, Will.
I don't expect any of the three of them to just shine. I kind of think there's enough gatekeeping with the amount of talent that IndyCar has at the top end that it's not going to be your traditional rookie of the year where somebody just jumps off the page. But I think Collette, to me, has the highest floor this year. I'm not sure on highest ceiling. I think he has the highest floor to be the best driver as a rookie.
I can't believe Mick Schumacher's getting shut out. Dennis Hauger is my pick. I think he is going to be a guy that's going to be competing for championships about 3 years from now. All right, guys, last one aren't predictions necessarily. Number one, race you're looking forward to most besides Indy, of course, Elijah.
I cannot wait for Phoenix. I am so excited for Phoenix. Just the fact that they're coming back to Phoenix, the fact that their lap time in the testing was under 20 seconds. I cannot wait to see all these Indy cars on that short of an oval. It's just going to be chaos, and I love it.
Yeah, I agree with Elijah. I'm looking forward to Phoenix, and I'm also looking forward to the DC race because we still don't know logistically exactly how the course is going to set up for sure and everything, but it's kind of an unknown. It's something brand new, so I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Good one.
I'm going to say not like a race that's new this year. I'm going to say Nashville. One, I'm going to the race. So obviously that's super exciting. And they moved it up this year. So I won't be in school for that. And then two, I feel like it's always just like you never know what to expect going into that race. Like it's always like the pressure cooker finale is what I like to call it. Because like anyone is up for contention to grab that race. And it's always like everyone's under pressure. Everyone's different strategy. So it's just like super exciting to watch that race unfold.
I think all the short ovals right now are really fun, Will.
Yeah, St. Louis is mine. I thought that was one of the most fun races last year. Kirkwood obviously stole the flag at the witching hour. I just like, it's a 1.25 mile oval. It's fun. It's also going to be under the lights. I think that always makes it just feel bigger, even if the race may not necessarily be some top 5 race in the series, but I like it.
No, we're not going to say any repeat. I'm going to say Elkhart Lake. The last few years is just fallen in love with it. I can't wait to get up there and see a race in Wisconsin. Milwaukee too, but I think Milwaukee is the race I most would like to attend, but Elkhart Lake is the one I just think is one of the most fascinating races and the most beautiful course. All right, and let's start with Elijah, a storyline that you're looking forward to seeing unveil itself during the season.
We've got so much entertainment on the track, but I feel like the biggest piece off the track is how is Will Power going to do at Andretti, and how is David Malukas going to step into Will Power's shoes at Penske? I'm sure that's going to be a storyline every single weekend. I'm sure they're going to be comparing times, comparing points throughout the whole season, and I personally can't wait for it because the more drama, the better.
Yeah, that will be an interesting storyline. A couple others, I will say I'm kind of looking forward to the storyline of just can some of these race teams like Ray Hall Letterman kind of did a little bit of an overhaul. Can they get back into contention? How about Andretti Global now that Will Power is there? We know they also have 2 other good drivers in Kirkwood and Ericsson. Can Andretti Global become a big time contender or player among the race teams? Are they going to be in that top 3?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a different storyline of can Pato O'Ward finally win the Indy 500? He has just came so close every year that it's just like, does he finally get to cross the finish line and be the winner? He's just been second. He's had his heart broken. He's been passed on the final lap. It finally has to be his year, I feel like.
Hey, we just got to ask, does Pato O'Ward have some Andretti blood in him somewhere? The reason he has such hard luck at Indy?
He might.
Well, Greg, I think my storyline to watch is the demise of Penske Racing. I don't think last year was a fluke. I think that there have been cracks in the foundation for the last few years. I think Penske's hands-off approach with him now owning the Speedway contributes to that. I don't know. Everybody said it was a cursed year. I just don't think it was. I think that you just see what happens when your leadership begins to become inept and when the new generation catches up with you and when you can't cheat your way to victory. So I expect that Penske doesn't have any more success than they did last year.
Elijah and I have talked about this, Will, that you kind of got to hand it to Penske because he really could have stacked the deck and kind of made it like Formula One, and then Penske wins every week, and he could have kind of made it his own playground, and he really hasn't done that.
Sure. I mean, other than he's just a pompous ass outside of that, that's great. I'm glad that he kept the series ethical, but it just doesn't take away from that. He's just such an unlikable guy. I
really appreciate what he's done for the series the last few years. I think the series has really gone in a great direction under him, Michelle.
Oh, in essence, he really kind of saved the series. And I think, in essence, he saved Indianapolis Motor Speedway just with the things he's willing to do and has put into it, the money and everything else. But you know what, Will? I love it because you tell us how you really feel. It's great.
Oh, I agree with Will. He's a pompous ass. I've never liked him.
I've not cared for him much either. So
the last couple of years, I've really appreciated that he honestly could have stacked the deck if he'd wanted and won the next 500s, and he just has refused to do that, Will. And I do think that's commendable despite never having liked him and hoping he never wins another race. I've been a long-suffering Rahal fan, Graham Rahal fan, and this year seems like it has to be the year that if things are going to come together for them, it's got to be this year. That's what I'm going to be watching the most. Same with Carpenter. I love Ed and, of course, Rossi, and really interested to see how they are going to progress and what's going to happen with Connor Daly. Really hope that he gets a really good ride at Indy. Hopefully Andretti will reach out to him and give him that final ride for Indy. I think it would be really sad if Connor Daly was not in the Indy 500 in a car that could win. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Then we'll go back and get Will's top storyline.
He's not going to have a ride that can win. So it's a cute story. He might lead a few laps when he's in 26th place and everybody goes into pit, but let's be realistic, and he's not winning the 500.
Well, I got to say, if he's with Dryan Reinbold, Ryan Hunter-Reay would have won that race if he didn't have a fuel pressure issue last year. I've seen crazier things happen in the 500, but I do agree with you, Will. It's Dryan Reinbold. It's a one-off team for a reason. He's got to have a shot in a blue moon. But if he's with Andretti, I really do think he could maybe win that race.
And last question, and I'm not going to hold anybody to this because it's so early, but early Indy 500 winner prediction, Elijah.
You can hold me to this. I'm going to pick one, but I want to say two. Until I see Joseph Newgarden lose at Indy. Last year, he obviously lost, but last year was not a normal year for Team Penske, especially at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But until I see him really get beaten, I need to see Newgarden again have another fair shot at it. And I just can't see him being beat on that oval where he's made so many great moves.
I'm going to go with Will Power because I will say this. I think he has got something he feels like he's got to prove, a chip on his shoulder. And what better way to kind of maybe get back at Roger Penske than winning the Indy 500 at the Penske-owned track. So I'm going to pick Will Power.
This is funny. I'm actually going to go with McLaughlin. I feel like he has a lot to prove after crashing out before the race even started last year. So I feel like he's definitely going to be on for revenge when that track comes around. And he definitely has something to prove because it was just embarrassing last year. So he definitely has to make it up.
Crazy. That's the first time his name's come up in this preseason podcast. Will?
Our whole thing last year was, can Palou conquer the oval? Is he good enough? This, that. He proved it. He's the best racer. He's going to win it again. He's going to go back to back.
I think everybody makes good points, but here's my thing. Mario Andretti only won the Indy 500 once, and that's really sad. And I would hate for that to happen to Scott Dixon. And I've been saying for about 8 years now that Scott Dixon has one more 500 win in him, and it's got to be this year. Scott Dixon's my pick.
Yeah, I made the mistake of choosing him last year, and then he caught on fire. So I wasn't going to make that chance again, but I do agree with you on that one. I definitely think that he has another one with him. And I just think last year, even if he would have had a chance, he would have probably at least been up in the top 5, top 10 even. Like, he was super good, but he just was 3 laps down. Nothing you could do about it.
Guys, this was a lot of fun. And we will also get Dave Chanley's picks because he had his final regular season basketball game tonight and could not be with us. And we will hold everybody to him throughout the year. And on Saturday this week, Elijah will join me on my daily podcast, Greg and His Friends Talk Sports, to talk about qualifying and preview the St. Petersburg race. And after the race, I hope everybody can come back and react to the first race of the year. I cannot wait. Thanks, everybody, for joining me.
Thanks so much to Elijah, Michelle, Heather, and Will for joining me. Thank you for listening. Please do us a huge favor and share this podcast with an IndyCar fan in your life. Help us spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about every single day. Also, check out Greg and His Friends Talk Sports every single day. My friends and I, including Elijah, Will, and Michelle, join me to talk about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about, whether it's IU, Purdue, the Pacers, Fever, Colts, IndyCar, national sports, or high school sports. We're talking about it. Please join us. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.